Okay. Now, at the top of the session, one thing I'd like to say, I'm not going to ask for many specific roles unless it's something really pre-planned here in the session. So just a reminder for everyone, when you're looking to do things and you're looking to make checks, you have complete creative freedom over those checks. Don't wait for me to ask for specific things. You go off and do what you want, and I'll make the call on what skill check you need to use, or at least we can agree on what you want to use. But I just want to call it out there again. Feel free to lean in on any creative skill checks that you want to do. Any questions or anything that people would like to be reminded of, or would anyone like to give us a real quick reminder of previous sesh, or at least where we're at right now?
I seem to remember we are just kind of standing on the precipice of some massive gorge, having sprinted out the woods. The warning of some talking raven.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, I think one of the horses has fallen to its gruesome demise down this gorge, and we see there's now like swarms of the seagulls in the sky, giant seagulls.
Yes, indeed. You stand at a ravine edge outside of the nearest forest that you've been travelling through from the last day or so since your encounter with Sungallan and setting off. Oh, sorry, just give me 2 secs. That's the put. Sorry, wrong one. Yes, and at the edge of the ravine, which you didn't initially notice, quite a few of you, you kind of almost launched off the edge. I believe Shamash actually launched off, and his horse fell to its ragdoll death as it bounced across the side of the ravine. Now, as you look around you, the night air is thick as it starts to moonlit sky is starting to build with this grouping of more and more albatross riders that you're being pursued by. Now, the moon casting a long shadow over this landscape. To your right, this jagged drop of the gorge yawns deeply down hundreds of feet as you're reminded of Shamash's horse just as it starts to fade out into nothingness. And to your left, this dark tree line looms, and you start to see flickering distant torchlight, showing you that your pursuers have clearly taken to foot as well as the air. And the silhouettes of albatross riders against the moonlit sky multiply, the numbers daunting as they begin to organise into a formation behind you. So far you haven't been directly spotted, but your hearts pound as you get ready for your next move. You know you're outnumbered. You're far from shelter. What do you do?
I think we should roll D100s.
Okay.
D100s? Oh yeah, true.
Roll these for leadership.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Ooh. Oh, Nubs, he's in his own element. In the woodland area.
Nubs it is.
Shit, what do we do? It's just Nubs turning.
His arm hair like heightens and turns to him and goes, "We're in your element, come on."
Hunger's gonna say to Nubs, "Must move. Can't stay. We move."
Yeah, okay, just shit, let me think. Let me just fucking think for a second. And then you see all these like neurons and things connecting and through Nubs' mind, and he's like suddenly comes across an idea. He's like, okay, I've got an idea. Follow me. And he heads north along the ravine for a few feet. And I'm looking for a specifically large depression in the ground with a few small trees and underbrush around it. So, like large enough that say it's maybe, should we say, 2 meters across and roughly circular. So I'm going to do, can I do a roll for that? I'm going to do a nature, no, I'm not going to do a nature roll. I'm going to do a survival roll on that one, if that's alright.
Yeah, for sure. Go for it. 21.
Alright, 21.
She's just looking for something like that.
Yeah, sort of a divot in the ground with lots of young brush growing up around it as well. Maybe even inside it.
Okay, yeah, sure. I think it wouldn't take you long to find something like that. You're on this kind of area where the area of woodland is starting to merge more into kind of like rocky outcropping and everything. But yeah, you'd be able to find something like this.
Okay. Nubs steps into the middle of it, holds his axe behind his back. It almost seems like he's charging up something. And all of a sudden he releases it in a spinning motion. How many trees do I cut down in one fell swoop? With a little cut with my sword like that. It's like, rah! You ever play Zelda? You ever play?
Yeah. So you're charging up like a
You know exactly what I'm doing. Yeah.
Holding B, I think.
I'm holding B exactly. Yeah.
Roll me an attack.
All right. I'll attack with my sword. If that's cool with you.
Yes.
Just the hit DC, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
With a 20.
Right,
So you're thinking kind of like younger trees and stuff in this instance, right?
yeah, maybe
Yeah.
up to being say like I don't know, what should we say, like 5 centimeters diameter. Not
Yeah,
like
sure.
that big, like that.
Okay, got it. Yeah,
Maybe
absolutely.
they're up to like 2 meters tall potentially. If they're real straggly, spin.
Yeah, for sure.
Massive trees.
I would say in this area, not far from the tree line, it doesn't take you long to find it, and performing this action, you quite quickly cut down several of the kind of younger sapling trees or like slightly more mature saplings, yeah, I'd say you probably accumulate kind of around 10-15.
Okay, I'll just motion for the rest of the group to come with me, and we're gonna try and press ourselves down into this divot and cover ourselves with these saplings, so we're not visible from above. So at least we have a respite to think and plan, and not get found at the same time.
Okay.
Quickly, get in! There's just about enough space for all of us.
Unger hurries in and imagine picking not so suitable saplings that leave like his legs kind of sticking out.
They look like tree stumps anyway.
Okay. As you all start to gather around in these, I would say relatively, there are 6 of you,
It's
and,
very tight.
and horses, and a dog, and an ape made of mushroom. This is going to be a hard squeeze for you to remain in cover here. I'd ask everyone to make me a stealth check.
No, I was wondering, is my stealth thing still active? I guess it isn't. It's been a while. I remember that.
No, yeah, your pass without a trace would have passed by now. Yeah.
Oh my
Excuse
god.
me, sorry.
Oh.
I'll just give you one from Shamash as well. Just to make sure to change the. Apologies. Oh no, Shamash. Come on then. Can I roll from him? Oh, there we go. Sorry, the first one. Apologies, I ended up rolling twice. But
Yeah. All good.
just wasn't so sure of the mechanism, but it's working good.
Can everyone just call out the rolls for me, please?
Shamash 14.
Yep.
Nubs 28.
Been 20.
Unger
Okay.
9.
That's nice.
7, 4, 7, 8.
Medica 18.
Okay, with an average of 14. You all kind of run over to this area that Nubs has kind of started to create and start pulling yourselves under this kind of makeshift canopy. But even looking underneath through it, you can see up into the night sky, you see these glaringly open areas of it. And as you look over at Abard, the man's inconspicuous at most times, and looking at his large plate armour sticking out, his greaves, you do realise that he is glistening in the moonlight. And you realise that this probably isn't going to cover you very well in the long run, should you be stumbled upon.
Would we at least be less conspicuous here if we want to think about what we want to do? That's kind of my thoughts, basically. That was sort of a little bit more.
It can buy you a moment of thought at least. You're not so blaringly obvious that any of the scouting rangers or anything would see you initially. But you know that if someone were to come close to you, this is not going to cover you.
All right. All right. Does anyone see those flickering lights in the woods out there? Where are they?
Roll me a perception check, Nubs.
Okay. 18 on that one.
With an 18, and I would say for most of you in this instance, looking over to back into the wood line, into the tree line from where you've come from, as you kind of scan it, both kind of north and south, down the edge, you realise that there are multiple pursuers. They don't know exactly of your location, but what they are doing is just following a formation, kind of as if they were searching for a missing child in a forest. They're just following in a line, shifting closer and closer towards the tree line.
How broad is? Oh, sorry. How many are they? Do they keep going north of us and south of us, or are we almost at the end, or are we in the middle?
I would say that you're probably within the middle from here.
And are we talking like more than 100 meters wide, or is it just a few of them?
Yeah, no, I would say that. So with an 18, I think you probably realise that they're starting to fan out more and more to take as they approach the edge of the tree line. So by the time right now, it probably looks like they're under 100 meters, but you realise that they're starting to open out further, in the hope that they're going to kind of pincer down on anyone within the edge of the wood.
What kind of weather is it there? Like, I understand it is dark.
It is night, but if you roll me a nature check, I can give you even more. But ultimately, it is a clear night. But I can give you any further detail if you give me a nature. Okay, with an 18.
18.
Yeah, the sky is completely clear. There is no sign of any coming weather events. There are some wispy clouds out in the distance, but it is a fine, clear summer's night.
Is it like, a little bit damp or like moisture in the air? It's like the grass really wet?
No, it is quite dry up here. As you've kind of gone further north, this area of the mountain seems to be more dry. But you do note that, like, kind of further to the north, there is more evidence of kind of speckled of snow out in the main mountains, to where you think your destination lies, at least for Beorunna as well, based on the map. Those are more kind of glistened in some fresh powder.
And is there any wind?
Very light wind. It is pretty clear night.
I'd like to cast a fog cloud somewhere in between us and the pursuers and let it like dissipate slowly.
Okay. 20 foot. Yeah.
Nice.
20-foot radius. So that is so where is that? That's between you and those people, right?
Yeah, and like I try to make it not appear like, out of thin air, but like slowly and gradually.
Yeah, sure.
And try to get it like dissipate over a larger area.
Okay, I would say that this is going to give you an advantage on any immediate stealth checks that happen within the next few moments. As it starts to kind of build this kind of fog. I know it says kind of 20-foot radius here, but what I'm imagining is it slowly starts to dissipate into the kind of tree line, right?
Yeah. I'll try not to contain it. I'll just let it go around.
Let it waft.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool, and that requires your concentration for up to an hour.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we need a bit more cover, right? And this little divot's not cutting it. Nubs, what would you say if I could dig us a bigger hole to hide in?
You dig us out of here?
Or dig us into here?
Sure. You can
Sweet.
start digging quietly if you can. We'll see.
Oh, what? This. Okay, so I'm gonna use conjure animals.
Nub's gonna say,
I'm gonna-
"Oh
Not
You
another
see me like
shark.
doing the hand shapes. So I'm gonna do conjure some boys. I'm gonna. How many do I summon? Fuck, hang on. Shit.
Can you
I've
summon
forgotten the
moles?
CR ratings.
no!" Already pressed for
Nubs'
space
eyes.
in this little divot, like, and I'm
Yeah.
summoning 9 chimpanzees.
Nubs'
Rising
eyes
mad.
go wide, and he points at you, and he's like, "Oh, I have an idea, but go first if you need to."
Definitely. Shit.
Do you
Let's
have
conjure
that
animals
stick
then.
that summons bears still?
Yes, but let's not
Could you?
be hasty with that.
But we could just put one in the forest somewhere. It probably won't find us, and it might find them. I mean, it's an option. It's 50-50
sick.
at this point.
Okay, so I'm gonna summon a dig crew of badgers. Eight of them.
No, but
Because
wait,
they're
It's gonna be a lot of
Yeah.
rustling and noise.
there's a lot
yeah,
of
it's fine though.
birds
They're out in the woods. They'll
gonna
hear
be
all sorts of
displaced
bullshit.
somewhere else.
Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. So 8 badgers like appear next to us. I pull a little. I get a little bit of like. I rip part of my cloak off and like make a little hat out of it and plonk it on one and go, "You're the foreman." And then I tell them I like try and corral them together and say, "Big, us,
Do you speak to your animals telepathically, or do you imagine that they just they are controlled by your thought?
They should be controlled by my thought. Hang on.
Okay, fine, yeah. So they're not. Yeah, that makes sense. It's not like they're then sentient
They'll
animals
obey
that they're
any
just
verbal
like.
commands. Yeah. They'll obey verbal commands. No required action.
Okay, fine. So it's not like they start having a conversation with you. They just do what you ask them to do.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. As you place the hat on the badger and like for the rest of you see 8 badgers just pop out of nowhere, kind of all, and I imagine you're kind of all lying down and sitting down in various poses. They're all around you, and suddenly like you just kind of see these fairy beings sprout out. Watch Venom place a hat on one. And sorry, your command was to start digging, right?
Yeah, build us a den.
Okay. What I'm going to say is I'm going to ask for an animal handling check here to see as your commands and see how it works in terms of you starting to build and I guess ultimately what is the ultimate vision here in terms of what you're trying to achieve?
I mean, it depends how industrious they are and what sort of ground we're dealing with. So I didn't really investigate that part, in fairness. But I thought they'd at least be able to like dig us some sort of hole where we could shove a bard who's shiny. And ideally have some sort of billiards room and everything else if they get going, but we'll see. I'm going to roll with inspiration for this check.
Okay.
Oh my god, it was a 1.
Ooh.
Can I use my halfling feature? Fuck. Shit, where is it? It was.
It doesn't show it as a 1 for me.
1 + 5.
Yeah.